Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Deep Cut Dive. We've got on the Zoom this morning, once again, Jack Toledano. And Jack is joining us for a little deep cut dive into Deep Purple. Morning, Jack. How's it going?
Very good, Pete. How are you this morning?
I'm doing good. I guess we're getting some rain today, supposedly.
You know, it was threatening rain last night, and I was invited out on a boat last night, and it was turned. We got very lucky. The weather, stabilized for us, and we actually went to a place where you and I saw Deep Purple and Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Let's see.
And Dream Theater. Yep, There we
Yes.
go. Jones Beach.
Yes.
It's funny. It actually, from the water view, it actually looks bigger than it does when you're in there. Because
Yeah.
I'm looking at that. You sent me the picture last night. I'm like, well, that looks pretty big. I said, wait a second. Is that Jones Beach? Jones Beach? It looks a
Yes,
little
it
bigger than
is.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice venue.
Fine.
Nice venue.
Yes, but it was weird seeing it from behind in a boat for the very first time.
So all your years living there, that's the first time you've ever seen it from that view?
Yes,
Wow. Pretty
absolutely.
cool.
Yeah, couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Well, it's good you didn't get any rain. It's been looking like it's going to storm the last 2 days, and we haven't gotten a drop. So that seems to be this summer. We'll get like 3-4 days of nonstop rain, then it won't rain for like 3-4 weeks. So my pool is thirsting for a little water once again, and my grass is starting to turn brown. It's this whole summer is the same thing. Anyway, let's get back to Deep Purple. So
Yes.
everybody, hopefully by now, knows the drill for these deep cut dive shows. So we're going to pick 5 songs deep within their catalog. Not the radio hits, so no Smoke on the Water today, no Highway Star, any of that kind of stuff. Nothing that generally appears on the greatest hits collections. Not songs that they play live all the time. It's okay if they played them live on the tour from the album or something like that, but not the normal popular songs that you hear all the time, radio, concert, that sort of thing. So we're going to go a little bit deeper. So I'm going to have Jack start us off. No real order to these. It's just I kind of do mine chronologically when they're released, but I don't give that kind of restriction to my guests at all. They can do whatever they like. So Jack's going to kick us off.
All right. So my focus is going to be mainly on the Mark II era of Deep Purple. We're talking early 70s. There is going to be one number or one track from the Mark III era. So let's start with your favorite album, also a favorite of mine, Deep Purple in Rock. Okay, yes. And it was hard to find a deep track in there, but this deep track is very special to me. I absolutely love it. It's the song Hard Lovin' Man. It is a killer riff, that nice crunching gallop that played throughout the song. Couple that with some killer Hammond organ by John Lord, who I absolutely idolize. I think that is the most amazing sound of any keyboardist I've ever heard.
He was pretty special. If you listen to my and I know you did, my Steve Morse interview from over the weekend, he talked quite lovingly about John Lord.
By the way.
Oh, thank you. He had a lot of really nice things to say about John. I'm sure it's, I guess when you kind of make those sort of friendships and have that relationship with someone so special, it kind of stays with you forever. And I've always got that impression in listening to interviews with people who have worked with John that he was like a very special guy. Never mind us fans who love that Hammond organ sound of his. But yeah, that's a great song. I mean, come on, it's great.
To me, that was like that was a real precursor of metal music as we know it today.
I mean, a lot of that album is. And I really wanted to throw something from that album, but I decided not to because I talk about In Rock all the time. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go one album past that to start this whole thing off. I'm gonna go to the Fireball album, which is this bad boy right here, a very underrated album, I think, in their catalog. It's definitely one of my favorites, for a song called Fools.
Okay. Yeah.
Heavy, atmospheric. It's got some just tremendous riffing from Blackmore. I love Gillan's vocal on it, but more importantly, some really cool spacey Hammond organ from John Lord. Glover's bass is great. It's heavy. There's lots of fuzz going on in this song, and it's kind of long. I love that kind of like mid section that's all like kind of like doomy and dirgy, and just really a different song from them. And it's like, the casual fan probably fools. They're like, never heard it. Well, you should. That's what the show is all about. So, all right, Jack, what's your next choice?
Okay. So I'm going to actually, it's funny that you skipped over In Rock. I'm skipping over Fireball to go to their landmark seminal record. What's it? Machine Head. So, yes. So Machine Head, try to find a deep track on that album.
Yeah.
Very hard to do.
There is one or two, though. There are one or two.
And I think I found one. It's actually tucked in at song number 2, right behind Highway Star. Maybe I'm a Leo.
Yeah, that's a good one. And
great song.
They played it live here and there, but definitely not a song was ever part of their regular set.
Right.
Definitely, not on Made in Japan, none of the live albums. I don't think it was ever appeared on any of their compilations either.
I don't believe so.
And I think, a song that kind of got brought back to life, because Government Mule did a cover of that like a bunch of years ago, did a very, very good job. And in fact, I think Roger Glover actually guested on that. That was on one of the albums that they did after Alan Woody passed away, and they had a bunch of bass players coming on and doing covers. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, it's a great song. Great song. Kind of bluesy, right?
Yeah. Yes. Even the song Never Before, I saw it.
That's what I thought you were going to pick, actually.
No, but even that song I've seen on live on at least one Deep Purple live album.
Yeah.
I know they put out a lot of live albums.
Oh, yeah. Quite a lot of them. I have so many of them. It's like
Maybe I'm a Leo. It has such a great chord progression. It could have been a hit on another album, but
yeah, it's catchy. Yeah, exactly.
But, with Highway Star and Smoke on the Water and Lazy Bass Trucking on the same album, it doesn't stand a chance.
I know, but a good one. Yeah, I honestly think that and I've talked about this before on various Deep Purple shows that I've done here, is that Machine Head is probably the album that I listen to the least now, because every song is just so notable. But like more often than not, when I want to hear Machine Head cuts, songs like those two are the ones that I want to hear. Maybe I'm a Leo, Never Before, all that kind of stuff. So anyway. All right, so I'm going to bypass Machine Head totally today.
Okay.
And I'm going to go zip ahead to the Mark III era of the band. And I'm going to bypass Burn, because to me, everything on Burn is pretty notable. And I'm going to go to Stormbringer for a song called Highball Shooter off of this album right here. Highball Shooter, kind of a different type of song for the band at the time. It's kind of funky. It's fast and furious, kind of bluesy. And I think if you listen to Highball Shooter, to me, that song really hints at what Coverdale was going to do in Whitesnake, especially those early Whitesnake albums. It's got kind of like the slide guitar. It's got this kind of like Southern rock vibe going on, kind of. But a good song, catchy song, good rhythms. Got the cool keyboards from Lord, and like I said, some kind of different playing from Blackmore on that. And you got the 1-2 punch of Coverdale and Hughes on the vocals. So there's my choice there. That's pretty deep, right? Pretty deep.
Yes. Okay. Well, hopefully I have a couple deep ones coming up. So I'm going to back it up one album. Who Do We Think We Are? I actually have one that was on the album and one that was recorded during the session. So the one on the album, again, some more amazing keyboard work by John Lord, Rat Bat Blue.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Song. And what is he playing, a harpsichord in the,
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, is that the fastest playing I've ever heard on a keyboard? It's insane. Yeah.
I love the riffing on that. Richie's riff on that is great.
Yes. Very simple, nice riff in the beginning.
Yep.
And that trade-off between him and Blackmore doesn't get any better than that.
Yep. Good song. I actually almost picked something from that album, but I had a sneaking suspicion you were going to. So I said, you know what? I'm going to kind of gonna
Right.
bypass who do we think we are today. All right,
Okay.
back to me, I guess.
You're
All
up.
right. So let's see, my third one here. Let's go to Mark IV, Come Taste the Band album. And I'm going to
Okay.
go with a song called Love Child. Boom, boom, ba-na-na-na.
Okay. Tommy
Dun.
Bolin action,
Tommy
right?
Bolin, man. Yep, exactly.
Yes.
I absolutely love the riff on this song. It's heavy. I almost went with Getting Tighter, but then I did a little bit of research, and actually that was released as a single back in the day. So
Right.
I was like, oh, okay, I don't want to pick that. But yeah, Love Child, just such a snarling, heavy riff from Bolin and a really, really good vocal from Coverdale. I love this album. As I've gotten older, I've really appreciated this album more and more and more. And I go back to this one a lot nowadays.
Okay.
So
That's cool. Okay. So my second number, and this was during the Who Do We Think We Are sessions. So back when we were in New Paltz, every once in a blue moon, they would have these record sales right on the plaza. Do you remember?
yes, I absolutely do.
Yes. So I was thumbing through the LPs one day, and I saw this Deep Purple compilation album called "When We Rock, We Rock," and "When We Roll, We Roll." I mean, it was a very odd, eclectic mixture, but it actually acquainted me with some of their Mark I numbers at the time. But tucked in there was the song called "Painted Horse."
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Now that one is very interesting because it's not as much John Lord emphasis. It's more sounds more like a southern rock song with that hollow, guitar riff that sounds like, could have been something of an opening that Leonard Skinner or the Outlaws could have done. And Ian Gillan's playing the harmonica. Very interesting song, but I love the chorus. The chorus, my painted horse is weeping. Really, really cool song.
Yeah, and that's definitely a cool pick from the vault, so to speak. Because I bet you there's
Yeah.
a good amount of people who have never heard that. It's if you get the reissues and remasters of
Mm,
that album, it's included all the way at the end, which is cool because that's what I have. But otherwise, yeah, unless you bought that compilation back in the day, you're never going to hear that song.
no.
And it's funny you mentioned that LP vendor that used to come into the Commons over there. I actually remember almost every single album that I bought from that guy.
Really?
Yeah, and it's funny we're talking about Deep Purple because one of the albums that I bought from him, Deep Purple related, is Ian Gillan's band Gillan. Right?
Oh,
He
okay.
had Bernie
Right.
Tormé on guitar, and after
Hmm.
Bernie Tormé left the Gillan band, he actually started up a solo career. And I actually bought one of Bernie Tormé's live albums from that guy. I actually bought I bought a Venom album from him. I bought a Wasp album from him back in the day. Oh,
Wow.
I mentioned Wasp, and everybody's gonna be like, "Pete, you haven't done a
Oh,
Wasp show yet." Oh my god! But
I read a few of those comments. Yeah.
oh, man, I get asked for Wasp all the time. There's a couple bands that I get asked for all the time. Wasp and King's X. And I keep telling people, it's like, guys, I don't really dislike them. I'm just not big fans of either one. And
Right.
I own no Wasp. I own just a couple of King's X. And no matter how many times I say that and say I'm probably not going to do a show, and then people keep asking. So
Right.
anyway, I should have kept my mouth shut there. But anyway, so that's a good pick, Painted Horse. So my next one, I actually grabbed the wrong CD. So I'm not picking something from Bananas. Sorry, I meant to grab the Abandon album, and I grabbed the wrong one. But my choice from 1998's Abandon is a song called Seventh Heaven, which is a really, really heavy, fast song. It's got this kind of like cool atmospheric opening with Lord's keyboards and Gillan kind of doing these little kind of vocalizations, and then just comes crashing in with some blistering guitar. Okay, swirling Hammond organ, really great vocal, and Ian Pace just going absolutely berserk. It's just a kick-ass song. Seventh Heaven from Abandon, which I think is an underrated Morse era album. It's probably one of the heaviest out of the catalog from that era. So the more recent stuff. So that's my number 4.
Okay, so drum roll for my last one, and this one is Mark III. This one actually comes off of the album of the shirt that you're wearing. I love that shirt, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I do too.
I've always loved that cover with with their faces in the form of candles.
I know. Yep. Pretty cool.
This song, and they have a few, deep dives within this album, but I was shocked that, so when I do my grocery shopping, and I always have my iPod with me, almost always have and I'm always listening to music. Now, I was in a Trader Joe's one day, and by some miracle, I forgot my iPod, so I had to listen to whatever they were playing on. But lo and behold, this song came on, and it just shocked the hell out of me. I almost fell on the floor. "Sail Away," song, the fourth song on side one. I love that song. Again, it's very simple opening, but it opens to a definitely a great collaboration of vocals by David Coverdale, Glenn Hughes, and more great riffage and trade-offs between Blackmore and John Lord. Doesn't get any better than that.
And I like the kind of like slow pumping
Yes.
groove of that song. And I don't know if you heard it, but a few years back, Whitesnake did an album called the Purple Album, where Coverdale revisited a lot of those songs that he did on those albums. And they did a version of Sail Away, which is actually a little bit different, but really cool as well. And I like the fact that they did like kind of like a different arrangement to it. But yeah, I absolutely love Sail Away. Great song.
Yeah.
I almost wanted to pick that, because I looked at that and I'm like, that album, and I'm like, oh man, do I want to pick anything from Burn? Because for me anyway, Burn is a very traveled album. But I absolutely agree with you. I think Sail Away is one of the one or two songs that you can actually pick and say, all right, that's totally a deep cut.
But could you imagine hearing that over the music?
No, not at all. Totally not at all. Not at all.
Definitely the manager or somebody's personal, playlist or something.
That had to have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you'd expect like Mistreated or the title track or You Fool No One or something, but yeah.
Another great song.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so my final one here today, I wanted really bad to pick something from Now What, which is a fantastic album, and the first album with Bob Ezrin producing. He's now done three albums in succession, the new one coming out in a couple weeks. There were a couple choices here. They played a bunch of these songs live already, so I wanted to pick something that they have not done live. And it's not very deep in the album. It's actually the first album. It's called A Simple Song. And it's my favorite song on the album. It always was since day one I got this album. But it seems to have been a song that's kind of like, even though it's the kickoff track and it's great, it seems to have been kind of forgotten on this album, especially by the band. They've gone and played a bunch of these other songs. And it's another one of those classic Purple tracks that starts off with this kind of like atmospheric opening. It got keyboards, you got this crying like guitar solo from Steve Morse, and then this almost like spoken word vocal from Gil, and then all of a sudden, boom, the heavy section kicks in. It's got absolutely roaring Hammond organ from Don Airey, and a great solo organ solo, but the song has tremendous groove, and it's hooky. I mean, it's very, very catchy, and then the song kind of ends the way it begins. So it's kind of like a tale of two songs. It's got the intro and the outro, both very kind of moody and atmospheric, and the beginning just absolutely kicks your ass. So that's what I love about Purple. When they do stuff like that, they do it so well. And so A Simple Song from Now.
That was a great album, by the way.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. And I have heard the new one. It's really good. It's really good. Everybody's gonna like. If you listen to my interview with Steve Morse the other day, I asked him. I said, to my ears, hearing the album for the first time, it definitely the album sounds a little more riffy. So I think there's some pretty heavy songs on there, and Steve kind of agreed.
Oh, wow.
But it's classic Purple, man. The big guitar riffs, lots of Hammond organ. It's what you want, right? So.
Wow. So well, two things that I wanted to say. First of all, congratulations on landing that interview. That was awesome. I considered it a little bit of a homework assignment to actually listen to the entire hour interview yesterday. So
cool.
In case we wanted to talk about it today, and I think he does. Here's a little tidbit. He does mention Hard Loving Man at the 41-minute mark.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, because they've actually they dusted that out on Was it the Now What tour or was the Infinite tour? I don't know. I saw them on both, so I
Right.
forget which one, but they actually did pull that out. So Steve, I think
Right.
was pretty psyched to play that. And I had to ask him, is like, is there or are there any songs from the old catalog that you love to play? That the band doesn't, and it's funny. The first one he mentioned is "Child in Time," but actually,
Right.
the first time I saw them with Steve Morse on guitar, the very first U.S. tour, they were still playing "Child in Time," and then that was it,
Wow.
gone from the set list
Right. Yeah. I
forevermore.
mean,
Right? Well, because
how can Ian
Ian can't
Gillan?
sing. No, he can't sing
No,
it
he
anymore.
can't hit the high notes
No,
anymore.
he can't do those screams
That would
anymore.
be inhuman.
Mm-hmm.
So, he also mentioned Hush, I believe.
But yeah, that's one he loves to
Yeah.
play. Yeah, he loves to
Yes.
play that. Yeah. So yeah, it was great talking to him, and he's just a super nice guy.
Oh
And
yeah.
just he's one of those guys that you probably could just sit and listen to him tell stories all day, because you could just tell he was like going through his memory banks and like trying to pull out some cool nuggets, and just
Right.
just having a conversation with a regular guy. That's
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
amazed sometimes when you talk to some of these rock stars that they're just normal people, most of them.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh yeah.
and Steve Morse definitely. And I love the fact where all of a sudden he just we were talking about something and he just said, well, hold on a second. He gets up and he goes and grabs his Music Man
Yes.
guitar and starts playing something. It's like,
That was really cool.
that's the best,
Very
right?
cool.
Yeah, that was the best. So
But
you love
yep.
when that happened. I mean, Andy Powell from Wishbone Ash did the exact same thing to me. He just all of a sudden reached over,
Nice.
grabbed his flying V and started playing. I was like, oh, that's the
You know
best.
what? They're sharing their gift. That's what I love about it. Yeah.
Yeah. You can only hope that happens. So when you're
But
talking to
I
him.
also wanted to thank you for a gift that you gave me right here. He knows Pete knows I'm a big Jethro Tull fan. So what does he do? He sends me a Jethro Tull Aqualung T-shirt.
There you go. Well, you know what it is? We've got we got a bunch of viewers who have been very kind to send me some cool stuff here and there. I got to reciprocate back to some of my co-hosts and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, that actually, like I was telling Jack before we went on the air, I actually had purchased an Aqualung shirt online, and then I also purchased a Broadsword and the Beast shirt, which you guys have seen me wear, from Tull's actual merchandising company, and they thanked me for the order. It's like, oh, as a thank you, we're going to send you a free bonus shirt. And I was like, all right, cool. So the shirts come, and there I get another Aqualung shirt. I'm like, well, I really don't need two Aqualung shirts. And I'm thinking, who's the biggest Tull fan that I know who probably would really enjoy that? And Jack is the guy. So
All right.
I didn't tell him it was coming. I mailed it. And I said, by the way, you're going to be getting something today. He goes, oh, really? Okay. And then I get a picture. It's like, thank you.
Very pleasant surprise. Thanks
Yeah, there
again.
you go. So there you have it. So we got 10 in total deep cut recommendations from the catalog of Deep Purple. So you guys know the drill. So all you really, really big Deep Purple fans, the object of this show is to hopefully turn on someone who's maybe not as well versed in the bands we're talking about into some songs other than the ones they've heard on the radio a million times. So in other words, if all you really know by Deep Purple is Smoke on the Water, Highway Star, Mistreated, Burn, and
Woman from Tokyo.
Woman from Tokyo, and whatever. Hopefully you've got some tracks now to go and investigate and figure if you like or not, and hopefully go deeper into the catalog yourself. So that's the way it works. So visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. So Jack, thanks again for joining us. Jack will be back tonight for tomorrow morning's deep cut dive. So Jack and Stephen Reed are joining me for a deep cut dive into the catalog of Kiss. A lot of you have asked for Kiss, so we're doing that. So this time you're going to get 15 songs recommendations, 5 from each of us. So that we're taping that tonight. That'll be live tomorrow morning. And then Jack and I also have in the works, and we'll have to figure out exactly when we're doing this, but top 10 songs of Traffic.
Yes.
And then Jack and I are also going to do deep cut dive into Lynyrd Skynyrd, Aerosmith, and Led Zeppelin, right? Is that the 3 I got them right? Okay, so that hopefully, if not all of them next week, we'll get a couple next week and one the following week. So lots going on. So yeah, there you have it. So for Jack Toledano, I am Pete Pardo. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Actually, you'll see me again today because Martin Popoff's coming on the show momentarily for a ranking the albums of Canadian hard rockers Moxies. That's coming up. So Jack, Talk to you later. Everybody take care.
Okay.
Have a good one.
Have a good one, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Take care.